Hello, and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News channel. If you'd like to join me in my live streams, check out the links in my comments and description below. Also, check out Crypto Daily Updates. That's the other channel where I summarize all the day's crypto news into one great video every day, except for Sunday. That's also in the description in the comments. Now, let's get on to today's topic, which is what will it take? Will crypto produce the first trillionaire? Now, a lot of people will just immediately say, yes, obviously crypto would get the first trillionaire. It's kind of a new market. It's huge. It can take over the world economy, blah, blah, blah. You know, that stuff. But we actually got to take a look at the numbers. What is a trillion? A trillion is a lot. I don't think people understand how much a trillion actually is, okay? A trillion is a million times a million. Just like a million is 1,000 times 1,000, a trillion is a million times a million. Now that's a lot that's actually a lot of money. That's more stars than the Milky Way has. That's more money than the Milky Way has stars. The Milky Way has only roughly about 400 billion stars. So that's a lot of money. How much would it actually take? Now, Satoshi Nakamoto, if he's not the government or or if he actually exists, supposedly has about 1 million Bitcoin. You know what that means? That means the price of Bitcoin has to actually reach $1 million for Satoshi Nakamoto to have $1 trillion. That's what it means, yes. And I think individually, he's the biggest wallet. So if he's one person, like Hal Finney or something, who's already dead, he has to wait until Bitcoin reaches $1 million to actually get $1 trillion. Now, Bitcoin as a coin has a fairly low supply, 21 million. It's only about 18 million out right now. The other 3 million or so are going to be mined over the next 120 years or something like that. But the biggest holder of the biggest coin needs Bitcoin to get to $1 million for him to get to $1 trillion. So I think crypto minting a trillionaire in the next 10 years, I don't actually think is really that possible, because obviously if the person that started crypto with the biggest wallet of the biggest coin is going to be the richest guy first if crypto actually skyrockets. And that has to depend on a few things. A, he's not dead, or he's not several people. And B, Bitcoin has to reach $1 million. Now, Bitcoin at $1 million would actually make the market cap of crypto market cap of Bitcoin $21 trillion. And we can actually infer from exponential growth from altcoins and related to Bitcoin that crypto would have to be about as big as the stock market or even overtake the stock market in size, which I don't think will actually happen in the next decade. I think it'll happen down the line sometime, but I do not think it will happen the next decade. There's actually a lot of regulatory pressure that's actually on crypto, and that will take years to resolve. Plus, the market has to organically grow if you wanted to get to tens, hundreds of trillions of dollars, if that's even possible. The stock market overall is worth about $80 trillion, and that includes all the world's biggest companies. Now, will another crypto overtake Bitcoin? Yes, I do believe another crypto will overtake Bitcoin in the next 10 years. But the thing is, it has to overtake Bitcoin in its current form, and it has to go like 100x. More than Bitcoin in its current form to actually hit $1 trillion. And the thing is, the biggest holder has to hold at least 5% of that coin for that to actually happen. So he needs to hold at least 5% of that coin. That coin needs to overtake Bitcoin, Bitcoin's market cap currently. It has to over 100x overtake Bitcoin's market cap currently, and it have to be 50x Bitcoin's all-time high. So I actually do think it's kind of improbable that crypto actually crafts the first trillionaire in the next 10 years. Will it happen in the future? Yes. Will a trillionaire actually arise in the future from some industry? Yes. I mean, I've always thought it'd be like outer space and mining asteroids, but we're still probably decades away from doing that because, NASA hasn't really had the funds. I know Elon Musk is trying to do SpaceX, but I think he's more of like the outer space travel thing rather than actually mining like asteroids, because that technology, despite Bruce Willis and Ben Affleck, is still quite a while away. So Crypto, I do believe, has a chance of minting the next trillionaire, but I don't think it'll happen in the next 5 or 10 years because of the enormous amounts of money involved. Think about it. Like Apple and Amazon basically are worth $1 trillion altogether. The richest guy in the world, Jeff Bezos, is worth 110, 120 billion, and it's taken him decades to accumulate that much money, and that's essentially the largest company in the world. And the thing is, like, I think as crypto becomes more and more mature, the amount of crypto distributed will become more and more decentralized. I don't think you're going to have a really large crypto with one person controlling like half of the supply. I just don't think that's really viable. I think a really large crypto will have to be used like by the masses, and I think the governments are going to force somewhat of a decentralization of distribution. I don't think they'll actually allow a couple of people just to control like the entire supply. I mean, even with our money, Jeff Bezos is the richest guy in the world, and he owns like 0.5% of all the world's wealth. That's still a hell of a lot of money, by the way, but he does not own like 50% of the world's wealth. You might actually see like a corporation that actually controls a crypto worth a trillion in the next 10 years, and you probably will, honestly. Or a coin by itself worth $1 trillion, and you definitely will see that. But any individual having $1 trillion in crypto within the next 10 years is probably fairly unlikely just because of how big a trillion is, and the fact that right now you would actually have to have the largest holder of the largest crypto and he would have to rely on the price of Bitcoin to become $1 million. Now, I'm not even sure if the Bitcoin price of Bitcoin will ever become $1 million. Some pundits say yes, other pundits say no. But I think the likelihood of someone actually becoming a crypto trillionaire within the next 10 years is somewhat unlikely. Because you know what? We didn't buy in when crypto was in its infancy. We're kind of like at a pre-teen stage of crypto right now where it's having all these fits and scams and all this stuff. So we're not in early enough to become a trillionaire. Are we early enough to have a billionaire? Sure, there's 5 billionaires in crypto right now. And you know what? Billionaire is good enough for me. Hell, even millionaire is good enough for me. So while there will be many millionaires and billionaires crafted out of crypto in the next 10 years, I do not think there will be a crypto trillionaire in the next 10 years. So that is the video for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and hit that notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.